In this video, I'm going to suggest 24 US universities that give good funding or at least a full tuition waiver to international students to study MBA in the US. Now, six of these offers are based on students that I coached for their visa interviews who have arrived in this fall 2025. For five of these schools, I'll tell you exactly how much funding was given to these students. In my next video, I'm going to recommend schools for accounting programs. So the initial plan was to put MBA and accounting together, but then I discovered that there were some schools that gave funding for accounting but not MBA, and also schools that gave funding for MBA but not accounting. And if I decide to put everything together, the video will be very long. And so I just decided to separate the two. Now, when I recommend the schools for accounting programs, you are going to see some of these schools, but then you're also going to see schools that are for accounting only. If you're not interested in MBA or accounting, just let me know in the comment section the program you're interested in studying in the US. I am surely going to consider that in my future videos. My goal is to help students get good funding to come to the US because I know how difficult it is to arrive in the US without funding. And so if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Also consider giving this video a like. This helps me so much. These videos, they take so much work, and so I would really appreciate it if you give the video a like. Now, before we get into the schools, let me make it clear that when it comes to getting good funding to study MBA in the US, there are some schools that may require some work experience. Some schools may also require the GRE or GMAT, and they may waive it for you if your GPA is above a specified minimum or if you have some work experience. And so these are some things you want to check before you apply to a school. The fact that they have funding is not enough. You want to check their requirements to make sure you can get into the program. And also sometimes you may want to send some emails to be very sure about your chances of getting into the program. Another thing I want you to understand is that when it comes to applications, you are competing with a lot of people, and so you want to submit a solid application. In the description of this video, I'm going to put some links which can help you submit a good application. So the links are going to be about the application materials, and so you want to submit a good application so that your application will stand out. Finally, I want you to be aware that I do live sessions every Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT. So in the course of going through the process, if you have any question, if you encounter any challenges, you want to join a live session and ask me questions. You may also want to join and hear some of the answers that I'll give to other people's questions so that when you encounter them, you know what to do. All right, let's get into the schools. The first university that I recommend for MBA in the US is Auburn University. And this fall 2025, Samuela has started her MBA and she was given funding of $66,000 out of her cost of attendance of $70,000. She had a deficit of about $3,400. Now, Samuela is somebody who had been denied before. So she went for the visa interview 1 year prior and she was denied. And so she went through the list of MBA schools that I recommended last year. So she actually told me that she applied to the school because I recommended the school. She came to me for me to coach her. I coached her and her visa was approved. Now, it is important for me to highlight that she had been working for several years, and so the work experience was there. She also had a bachelor's degree in business administration, and she had a GPA of 3.82 out of 4.0. She didn't take the GRE because her GPA was so high. The school, I don't remember if they required a GRE or not, but then she didn't take the GRE because of the fact that her GPA was that high. Now she's here, she's enjoying herself. So sometimes if your visa is denied, you just have to, put in the work and everything will work out. On this page, we can see that, this is the full-time MBA program and they are saying they provide teaching assistance. Here we can see that they have graduate assistantships, and the way it works is that they are going to give you teaching fellowship. So I guess full teaching waiver, and then also they are going to give you monthly stipend. The second university that I recommend for MBA in the US is Ohio State University. And this one too, I recommended it last year at number 26. So Adam reached out to me when he got an offer from Ohio State University. So his offer was really good. He was giving full funding of $84,000 out of $80,000, which means that his funding was more than his cost of attendance. And he was coming to study MBA with specialization in finance. So he reached out because, according to him, he didn't know he could study in the US for free. And so he went to Nigeria. He was born in the UK, but then he has, roots in Nigeria. So he went to Nigeria to see family. And when he went, that was when he came across my channel. He saw my videos, and then he came across my video on MBA and my other videos. And so he did the application, everything himself. He got a funding, full funding. And so he reached out to me for coaching. and I coached him and he was approved. Some of you probably have seen that video of the mock interview. Now, Adam had been working in the finance sector for a while, for several years, and I think he had a very good GPA as well. And Ohio State is, a good university, and so it is very competitive. So if you are not a strong candidate, I don't know, you probably wanna, but if you think you have some work experience and you have a good GPA, you may want to check that out. Even if you don't have work experience and you have the GRE, you may still want to check it out and see. So this is the page for Master of Business Administration. And about funding, they are saying that they give funding, they have merit-based aid and scholarships. And they are saying that on average, 75% of their full-time MBA students receive some form of merit-based funding. And they also have graduate assistantships that they give. They have fellowships. So my guess is that Adam was given an assistantship which covered everything, or maybe a fellowship which covered everything. But then also he got a merit-based scholarship, which was the reason why his funding was more than his cost of attendance. We can also check how you can apply to the school. So when we click on apply, we see the deadline as February 23, 2026. We can click here to see the requirements and so they are saying that they can waive the GRE or the GMAT for you if you have completed college level coursework in any of the following with a grade of B or better. So then accounting, finance, algebra, and then also if you have a STEM degree or if you have quantitative based certifications. So then with any of these three, they can waive the GRE for you. The third school that I have on my list is Illinois State University. And with Illinois State University, this student was also coming to study MBA, and I think he was giving funding of $30,000 with a deficit of $8,000. And Illinois State University is also a school that I recommended last year. I recommended it at number 12. And so if you considered it last year, then maybe you would have gotten an offer. With Illinois State University, I think their funding is the same. They give you $30,000, leaving you with a deficit of $8,000. I think I coached about 3 students who have come this fall 2025, and they were given the same funding. And when you scroll down here, they are saying that the university provides graduate assistantship. The fourth university on my list is the University of South Florida. And this one too, I believe I did a mock interview with a student, one of the YouTube mock interviews. And this student was coming to study financial analytics. His funding was $30,000 out of $40,000, which means he had a deficit of $10,000. The thing with this funding is that once you have it, your visa will be approved easily. So because the deficit of 10,000 is not that much. Yeah, that is funding that is good enough because MBA programs a lot of times don't give funding. MS in financial analytics. When we scroll down, when we check the finances, they're saying that, okay, so here, this is not enough information. This doesn't say they have assistantship. So my guess is that the student sent an email and he was told that they have funding. When you see something like this, it is not enough for you to apply because it doesn't say anything about assistantship, right? It just says scholarship information can be found here. So that is not enough information. What you want to do is to send an email to find out if they actually have funding for students who want to study the program. Now, the next university that I recommend if you want to study MBA in the US is Boston University. So this one too, I coached Ajay and she was given a full tuition waiver. It wasn't full funding, it was a full tuition waiver. Her deficit was actually a lot, $25,000, and this is for living expenses. The fact that it's a full tuition waiver means that it's still not a bad offer, especially given that it's a business program. Her program is a dual master's in MBA and MS in digital technology. She reached out, she came to me for coaching after she got the offer, and then I coached her and she was approved. Boston University, I think it's a competitive university, so you want to be real about your chances. And I think this is the best funding that the department has. So that is the thing. That's why I think maybe if she had looked at other schools, she could have gotten full funding. Now with Ajay, she had 3.71 GPA and 3.19 on the GRE. Now these are really good scores, and that is why she was able to get the best funding in the department. Now when we scroll down, so there's a program, right? The dual degree MBA plus MS DT, so MS in digital technology. Now, when you scroll down, we can look at the funding that they have. So they have the Social Impact Scholarship. And this one, what they are saying is that the program provides awards ranging from $10,000 to full tuition per year to admitted students So my guess is that this is what she got. She got a full tuition waiver. They have other scholarships as well. I don't know if you can get different scholarships at the same time or just one scholarship per student. But then they have all kinds of scholarships. Most of the time, scholarships are not what you focus on. You want assistantship because an assistantship ideally has to come with a full tuition waiver so that you have some stipends as well. The next university that I recommend if you want to be funded to do MBA in the US is Old Dominion University. Now, this one, I think I came across the offer from one of my WhatsApp groups, a PhD offer, actually, a PhD in business administration. But we can check the school and see the kind of funding they have. So this is their page. When we scroll down, here they are saying that they have graduate assistantships. And the benefit of an assistantship is that you get a stipend of $7,500. And then also you get tuition waiver if you are an out of state and international student. That means your tuition is reduced to in-state rates. In-state rates are usually very low. And yeah, it's not perfect funding, but then also they have some scholarships here that when you combine, you are going to get something good. I don't know if this person was fully funded because this person was coming to do PhD. Normally, PhD funding is better than master's funding. So I don't know. Maybe this is, for MBA. MBA is master's level. So my guess is that this is MBA funded and that's why it is low like this. We can also check the PhD MBA and see what is here. So this is the PhD MBA. Let's see if there is anything about funding. So with the PhD MBA, they are saying that they have teaching and research assistantships. So this one, tuition is waived. And then also you're definitely going to get some stipend. So I think, yeah, the PhD offer is going to be fully funded, but then the master's level, it might not be fully funded. That's my guess. But this is another university you can consider if you want to study MBA in the US and be funded. Now, the next university that I recommend if you want full funding to study in the US is Southern University and Agricultural and Mechanical College. So this one, I did a mock interview with somebody, I think last year to study MBA, I believe. So here we can check the graduate programs in the school and we can look at the MBA. So here we can see business administration. Let's click on this. And when we click on this, we have a PDF and the PDF has all the information that we need. So you can see the university and then the MBA. When you scroll down, we have the requirements. They are saying that they can waive the GRE or the GMAT if your GPA is 3.0 or above. So that's good. But that's not all. You also have to make sure you have appropriate work experience, so at least 3 years. So a combination of the two can give you GRE GMAT exemption. But then in general, if you have a GPA of 2.5, you can get into the school. And they are saying that the department offers graduate assistantships to eligible students who show outstanding potential. Now, with this one, I believe the student was given $26,400 out of $25,000. So I think she was given more funding than her cost of attendance. So that is another university you might want to consider if you want to be funded to study MBA in the US. Now, in addition to the schools that I've mentioned so far, I'm going to recommend other schools based on the fact that they also give funding. Some of these schools are coming from the schools that I recommended in the past, but then there are a lot of new ones as well. So the eighth university you can consider for MBA is Oklahoma State University. Here we can see the School of Business and they are saying that they have graduate teaching assistantships. The way it works is that you are going to work for a faculty and then they are going to give you a salary of $1,400 per month, which is the stipend. They are going to reduce your health insurance cost and also they are going to give you a tuition waiver. I don't know if it's a full tuition waiver, but hopefully a full tuition waiver. Now I'm giving you these things so that you can send an email to be very sure about the kind of funding, or you may want to connect with people in the school. And here are the requirements to be an assistant in the department. Your GPA has to be 3.3 or above, and a few other things which are easy to meet. The ninth university I recommend for MBA studies is University of Maine. And for University of Maine, we can look at their business school. And so here we have the graduate funding and cost. So the costs, we have some figures here. And when we scroll down, they are saying that they have assistantships, right? So we can click on the assistantships. And so they are saying that main MBA graduate assistantships. So they are saying that the MBA program, they award competitively to outstanding full-time main MBA applicants each fall to work in business research and classroom setting. The way assistantship works is that you're going to get 18 credits of tuition coverage, so full tuition coverage, and then a generous monthly stipend. So yeah, that's a good school, that's something you can consider. So that is, if you have good credentials, you want to consider the University of Maine because the funding is actually good. So on the MBA page, they are saying that financing your main MBA, right? So they are saying that they give 6 graduate assistantships. So 6 is not enough, which means it's very competitive. So you may want to take the chance, but they don't give it to a lot of people. So yeah, it means your application has to be very strong. The 10th university you can consider for MBA is Ball State University. And when you look at the Miller College of Business, you can see that they have graduate assistantships. The benefit of being an assistant is that they are going to waive your tuition, and then also they are going to give you monthly stipend over the course of the academic year. So that's good. And you have to submit your application before April 1st. My recommendation is to always submit it early. So that is Ball State University. Ball State University, you can get a waiver and apply for free if you want. So Ball State University is also another school that I recommended last year. The 11th school on my list is the University at Buffalo. And this one too, I recommended it last year actually. Here they are saying that funding your MBA. So when we scroll down, we can see how we can fund the MBA program. So they have all these fellowships and assistantships. A fellowship, it depends on the money. Some fellowships can cover everything. Some fellowships might not cover everything. And they have some scholarships as well. But then assistantships are always, your sure bet. So they're saying that all admitted full-time MBA students are considered for graduate teaching and research assistantships, and they are selected in a competitive process. So yeah, they have assistantship. Once they give you assistantship and there are some scholarships and all of that, then this another university you can consider. But you have to make sure your application is very strong. Here, what they are saying is that if you want to be given priority consideration, then you want to submit your application by January 15. The 12th university on my list is Mississippi State University. This is the business page, and we can read a few things about the program. So the preferred deadline is November 15. So you have to submit it early. Below that, they are saying that they have graduate assistantships. And with graduate assistantships, these are the benefits in a way. You get to work 20 hours per week, and they are very flexible around your class schedule. So this one is more like work experience you're going to gain. They are going to waive your tuition. You are going to get bi-monthly stipend, and your non-resident fees are also going to be waived for you. So that is another university you can consider if you want to study MBA in the US. But remember, your GPA at least has to be 3.0, and you have to meet all these things, and you have to submit your application on time. Don't look at the January 15 one if you're looking for funding. The University of Southern Mississippi is another university you can consider for MBA in the US. And on the business page, you can see that they have graduate assistantships. So they are saying that graduate assistantships are available in the MBA program, awarded on a competitive basis. So yeah, it's always competitive. You're going to compete with a lot of people, but they have assistantships that they can give you. And you may want to find out exactly the way the assistantship works, how much is involved, and whether it comes with a full tuition waiver or not. At number 14, we have Georgia Tech University, and this is how you can finance your full-time MBA. And so we can scroll down just to be sure. And what they are saying is that each year, more than half of incoming full-time MBA students receive funding in the form of graduate assistantships or fellowships. At number 15 is Louisiana State University, and they also give funding to study their MBA program. And so here they have the 2-year MBA, and we can scroll down just looking for funding information. My goal is to show you the funding information, and then you can go ahead and then try to meet the requirements and submit a good application. So they require at least 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, full-time residency. So you have to be on campus, which means they don't give funding for the online program. That is how I understand this. And then let's check the tuition. Now, when we check the tuition, they are saying that they have merit-based scholarships and graduate assistantships. So they give it to eligible MBA candidates on a competitive basis. And they are saying that GA awards provide a monthly stipend and waive the LSU non-resident fee for out-of-state students. All MBA applicants are evaluated for scholarship and GA funding during the admission evaluation process. So we have seen what we are looking for. Now you have to try and then meet the requirements and submit a solid application. The 16th university you can look at if you want to do MBA in the US and be funded is the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. And we can look at their page, and on the business page, you can see, so this is the School of Business page. And then we can scroll down. Now they have MBA and then they also have PhD programs. And my understanding is that they give funding for all of them. This business school is one of the top business schools in the US, so they have a lot of funding actually. And when we scroll down, we can look at the business program. So when we scroll down, we can see that they have assistantships that they give. You work 20 hours, they are going to give you a tuition waiver, a complete tuition waiver, and then they are going to give you monthly stipend. So you work 20 hours for them, and then they are saying that the funding is competitive. They are saying that the level of funding is meant to attract competitive applicants from a broad range of backgrounds. They also have all kinds of scholarships that you can get. The Wharton MBA is a very competitive program, so that is something to keep in mind. But the point is that they give funding. If you want, you can send an email just to be very sure about the funding that they give to the various programs. Now, still in Arkansas, there is also the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, and this one too, they give funding. So they are saying that they give a limited number of graduate assistantships in the School of Business, and then they have all the information that you need. And basically the same thing. They are going to give you tuition scholarship, and they are also going to give you a stipend. They are going to work 20 hours a week on campus. So basically, they have funding for MBA students. At number 18, we have Bowling Green State University. And here we have the page for the full-time MBA program. So they are saying that they have graduate assistantships. We can see who is eligible, and they are saying that you have to have at least 3.0. Both domestic and international students are eligible. And we can look at how many GAs are given. So they are saying that the number varies. At number 19, we have the University of Texas at Tyler. And so this is the MBA program. They have the on campus and then they have the online option. So yeah, as an international student, you are coming to do the on campus one. So we can scroll down, and here the funding information is not clear now, but you can try to find out more about it. For them, this is how they put it for all the programs. All the programs, they will just say scholarship, financial support available. Then they will just say yes. That's how they do it. In my engineering school's recommendation, there was University of Tyler, a student who was given full funding, right? So that is another school. Let's click on this and see. So the financial support now, they break it down that they have, federal financial aid. This is for domestic students. They have assistantships for all students. Then all of these things. They can also give you application fee waiver depending on who you are, and they have some fellowships and all of that. Now, this one is the graduate school. That's why you cannot really rely on this. But then here, this one is on the MBA page. So you can send an email just to be sure. You can request for more information, fill out your details, and then, ask them some questions. The next university you can consider for your MBA studies is Eastern Illinois University. So here we can see that, on the business page, Master of Business Administration page, they are saying that they have graduate assistantships, and the way it works is the same thing, right? The stipend and then the tuition waiver, that's what they all give. Then here, you know, generally what assistants do. So it depends on the kind of assistant you are. You can be maybe service assistant, teaching assistant, or research assistant. And the benefits, we've already seen this before, right? So they give you a tuition waiver of up to 4 classes. So up to 4 classes. If each of them is 3 credits, then that's 12 credit hours. Then you work 18 hours, they give you a stipend, and so generally the same stuff. Another school on my list is Missouri State University, and this one too, they have a STEM Master of Business Administration. And so on the assistantship page, they are saying that they give assistantship and students work 20 hours a week, and in return they give you a tuition waiver, and they give you stipend for your living expenses. At number 22, we have the University of Montana, and this is a college of business. So they are saying that they have graduate assistantships. In terms of the qualifications to be an assistant, you have to make sure you submit your application by the deadline of February 1st, and your academic record has to be outstanding. You should have relevant experience based on the business school's needs, and then also you have to submit the assistantship application by March 1st, 2026. So you have to submit your application by February 1st, but then also you have to submit the graduate assistantship application itself by March 1st, 2026. So they are going to give you tuition support and then a stipend of $5,000 per semester. Another school for MBA is Tennessee State University. And here we have the traditional MBA and we have the features of the program. So we can scroll down and this is how the program works. Now here we can see on the same page that there is assistantship link. So let's click on this and see. When we click on this, so there is an assistantship that we have to fill. Here we can see that when we fill the form, it is going to go to the College of Business and you can see the MBA program. So that means that the assistantship is from the School of Business or for you to do MBA. So you can see that the MBA option, they're asking you what kind of MBA option are you interested in. So whether supply chain, whether accounting, and I guess students asking me about supply chain. So supply chain, you probably have to study supply chain as a concentration rather than as a program on its own. The last school on my list is the University of Maryland. So here we can see the business administration page. And when we scroll down, they are saying that they have financial aid and they give it to qualified students in the form of fellowships, graduate assistantships, and scholarships. So they have funding, and we can check the admission requirements. So they require an essay, transcripts, TOEFL, and all those English proficiency stuff, depending on your country. They require one letter of recommendation, and then the GRE or GMAT, but then they are saying that both are optional. And then either the CV or the resume. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we have the deadline, March 13. If you're looking for funding, it has to be way earlier than that. So that is it for the MBA schools that I recommend in 2025 if you want to come and study in the US for fall 2026 and be funded. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section. If this video has been helpful, please let me know and let me know the program you're interested in studying in the US so that I can consider making a video about it. Right now, there are a lot of other schools that I'm considering, so you can let me know about your school as well. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. That is always helpful. So I'll see you in my next video. Take care of yourself.